Will downtown Springdale be the next downtown Bentonville? Today we're covering 5 major projects that are happening in downtown Springdale, some you might not be aware of, that point almost in that direction. So, let's talk about that. Hey everybody, if you don't know who I am, my name is Phillip Shepard. I'm a local real estate agent located right here in Northwest Arkansas. If you weren't aware, I actually was a real estate broker located in the dumpster fire, horrible, no good, terrible state of Illinois. Moved away from there and I was looking for the best place to live in America, and I found it. I looked all across America looking for different places where I want to move to, and probably very similar to places that you're looking to right now. But I chose Northwest Arkansas for so many different reasons. So if you're ever looking to come down here, obviously check out the whole area. Let me know, call me, text me, email me, whatever the case is, and we'll sit down and talk about the reasons why I chose Northwest Arkansas versus anywhere else in America. And if you haven't been down to Northwest Arkansas quite yet, I made something called the NWA Starter Pack. It sounds exactly what it is. It's literally a starter pack full of all the cool things Northwest Arkansas. What's going on in downtown Bentonville? What's going on in Fayetteville? What's going on in Springdale? What are all the cool things that you know about Northwest Arkansas? Like medical, education, schools, the whole thing, package, shipped right to your home. Enter your name below, enter your address below. I'll make sure they get the package shipped to you right away. Also, a side note, it does come with your first free mountain bike, so that's pretty cool. And I know what you're thinking. It is my favorite 4-letter F word. Free! So enter your information below and make sure they get the package shipped to you right away. All right, so let's talk a little bit about downtown Springdale before we jump into the 5 major projects. So obviously, there's been a lot of comparison to downtown Bentonville and downtown Springdale because of similarities of the pathway that they're going. So if you weren't aware, downtown Bentonville about 10, 15 years ago, literally nothing going on, nothing. It wasn't until Crystal Bridges came in there about almost a decade ago that things really started changing. That was obviously built by the Waltons, that was obviously built by Alice Walton, and then from there, the Momentary, and from there on out, just so many more projects. Anyways, long story short, downtown Bentonville was literally nothing 10 to 15 years ago. Now looking at Springdale, we're starting to see that same path happen currently. We're having major investment being built there from both outside money and also inside money in the area itself. And plus that, we have so many projects being in the works that is going to be really a game changer for the downtown section. Now, some people that live there currently will probably laugh because like, there's no way. But people that have lived here for more than 10 years and saw downtown Bentonville, they would laugh at you at some of the prices that have been obviously purchased in downtown Bentonville and downtown Bentonville specifically. So now, obviously, some of the differences, and we don't talk about them specifically, but it's obviously Walmart HQ Bentonville, Tyson, JB Hunt HQ in Springdale, and obviously the Waltons invest a lot into the whole area itself. So there are definitely some huge differences there, but there are a lot of similarities and we should not write any of those off. All right, so the first project we need to talk about when it comes to downtown Springdale being similar to downtown Bentonville, and that is gonna be the George Luther Park being redone in downtown Springdale. So there's a major road in downtown Springdale called Emma Street, and they just finished up a major project, kind of honestly prepping for the huge expansion happening in the next 10 to 15 years. So that honestly, Emma Street was kind of shut down for almost half a year. So anyways, but near Onyx Street is a park called George Luther Park. George Luther Park is going to be a masterpiece park designed by the Walton, basically the Walton Foundation. Now actually the Walton Foundation is actually doing a lot of the back end work for this project itself. So the interesting thing is that there's something called the Design Excellence Program within the Walton world, essentially. Not all projects that they do fall into this category, only specific ones. And basically, spare the details because I read all the details, I love it too much, but I'll spare the details. But this basically section of the foundation itself that focuses on design, it is a no hold back, hog wild, Arkansas, hog wild, like all the architecture, all the design, no limits whatsoever for these projects. So just kind of a recap what they've done before. So if you have an idea, they've done all of downtown Bentonville. They've done the downtown section of Rogers. They have done the soon upcoming Quilta Parks. They're doing theaters. They've done Theater Squared. They've done the rail yard in downtown Rogers, as well as Stadium Square, plus a ton other ones that have been in the past. So long story short, this new George Luther Park is going to be a literal architectural masterpiece. It's going to have a spot to hold over a couple thousand people for performances, maybe very similar to the rail yard over in Rogers, and also very similar to downtown Bentonville and the upcoming Quilta Parks. So long story short, George Luther Park will be the hub of Springdale in the very, very near future, right off Emma Street. And the hub of town. So that is going to be a huge project starting this year. It's been in the works for a while, but this year it actually will be started and finished within 1 year. And I will definitely keep you up to date with all the future progress for that. And the second project happening in downtown Springdale, it'll be very similar to downtown Bentonville, is the new Hilton Tapestry Hotel being developed in downtown Springdale. The details are very sparse on this one. I don't know how many rooms or what size, but I know where it's going to be located. It's going to be on Emma Street, or very close to Emma Street, honestly. In downtown Springdale. You see the pattern here with Emma Street. Long story short, new Tapestry Hotel. The thing I want to mention about this is that whenever you have Hilton, or I would consider their Tapestry line, which is going to be more of a luxury brand, when you start seeing those enter the picture, first of all, with a place like Hilton enters the game, so to speak, is that they obviously have done the research. Like they're going to spend, probably a couple $1 million of putting this hotel up. And so they want to make sure that it's appropriate to be put there and they know it's coming, even things before we even do. So just know that if you often want to sometimes see where money is going, or like investment, sometimes hotels are a good indicator, obviously, because they're doing the research. Sometimes obviously larger franchises do a good job as that because they do their own diligence, of course. So when the Hilton at Tapestry got approved to start building in downtown Springdale, that definitely turned some heads because it's not a standard Hilton. It's some little bit higher cut there. Whoa, before we jump on to the next point, I have something brand new called Instant Home Updates. So maybe you're looking to move to the area and using things like Realtor.com, Zillow.com, or Redfin, way too slow. Notifications, way too slow. That's why I made something called Instant Home Updates. Sounds exactly what it is. It's literally Instant Home Updates, literally. So enter your information below: name, square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms. Where do you want to move to Northwest Arkansas? Let me know with all that information below. I'll make sure you don't miss a single notification when it comes for homes for sale or for rent, all in Northwest Arkansas. Also, every single Friday, I send an email out just kind of talking about all the cool things in Northwest Arkansas. What's going on down Bentonville? What's going on in Fayetteville? When is First Fridays? When is First Thursdays? What is going on with the Christmas Hallmark? The whole thing. What's going on in Pinnacle Hills? What's going on around? So much all the time. Enter your name below, enter your email below. I make sure you get the email every single Friday. Just kind of recapping all the cool things happening here and things that you want to be aware of when you're coming down here. But sadly, side note, you will get a little fear of missing out, a little FOMO, so to speak. But I promise you will be the most important person eventually when you make your way down to Northwest Arkansas. And the third big project happening in downtown Springdale is going to be very similar to downtown Bentonville. Now, this is actually very unique to Springdale, and I think that's intentional, is something called the Market of the Ozarks. The Market of the Ozarks is going to be two factors here. The majority of it is going to be a place dedicated for farmers that grow agriculture on the outskirts of Northwest Arkansas, or maybe internal as well. And they bring their produce there and products and actually prep them for selling. Now, there's gonna be industrial and commercial kitchens, there's gonna be prep spaces, there's gonna be all sorts of different things with vendors and lift gates and things to back up trucks, the whole thing, to make it easier for actual farmers to, truck loading stuff, for farmers and agriculture people to actually load, dock, clean, prep all their food right there. Now, the other side of this is that it's going to also be a continual farmers market all the time. So it's going to be really interesting to have a farmers market 7 days a week, open all the time, that farmers can actually get their produce ready, yada, yada, yada. They sell the produce. It's a whole thing. So it's almost becoming like this interesting source to local store market in downtown Springdale. Now, I know the interesting thing is that a lot of restaurants are looking forward to this because a lot of the restaurants here actually source their vegetables and other meats essentially from local places in Northwest Arkansas. So a lot of the restaurants already do that, but it's gonna be nice for them to have one source, one place to go to, prep everything, or actually buy the prepped food and bring it right back to the restaurants. And the fourth big project happening in downtown Springdale that's gonna make it very similar to downtown Bentonville, and this is just makes sense, is Onyx Coffee is moving to downtown Springdale as well. Now, I've done a video on this, obviously, definitely was bigger news in the coffee world as well as the Northwest Arkansas world, because it's like the final frontier for Onyx. We have, and the owner actually is from Springdale, so it's like the final frontier going back to your hometown. So obviously they have Fayetteville, they have Bentonville, 2 locations in Bentonville, they have Rogers, and so the next logical thing is Springdale. So going downtown Springdale, but the interesting thing with Onyx, classic Onyx, because they always like to think outside the box here, is they're actually be more focused on chocolate than anything. Now, obviously coffee, the whole kit and caboodle when it comes to Onyx, all the deliciousness, but they're definitely jumping into the chocolate business. Now, I can understand this because both coffee and chocolate they're both beans. Maybe I'm still oversimplifying it, but obviously Onyx goes direct to farmers and they go on to South America. I didn't know that's where the cocoa bean, I believe it's down, I could be wrong there, but anyways, they're going direct to source when it comes to chocolate beans as well. So long story short, they're gonna be doing their brand new chocolate thing downtown Springdale, so that'll be a lot of fun. And the fifth and final big project happening in downtown Springdale, that's to make it very similar to downtown Bentonville, is the brand new senior center. And you're probably thinking like, woo, who cares? But it's actually quite important for Northwest Arkansas because honestly, it wasn't until about 5 to 7 years ago you really started hearing about senior centers. Now, it wasn't actually till about like 2 years ago, or even this year, you really started seeing them like becoming a built thing. Now, I've only been here 3 years, but I started researching when I came down here. I was like, there's not a lot of senior centers happening here because a lot of times people either move away because they're going back to Florida, or not going back, they're going to Florida, they're going to other places. But now with as many people, what's happened is that so many people have moved here, and those people are often between like the age of like 40 or 55 or 60, and they bring their parents as well. So obviously business opportunity for those people, for the whole business side of senior centers. But the interesting thing is that the need has been catching up to itself in the last 3 years. And so this new senior center is going to be a big deal for Springdale, plus a bunch of others in the area. Now, obviously, it's going to be 40,000 square feet of pure fun pickleball courts, driving, the whole, like, meaning like obviously people taking you everywhere. So it's going to be probably one of the cooler senior centers in America. That is for sure. But it's going in literally, again, in downtown Springdale next to Emma Street. So I'm sure all the seniors that are going to be living there are going to have a ball next to the new park, to the actual like Market of the Ozarks, to all the fun restaurants downtown Emma, plus the new pathways, the whole thing. So it's going to be a lot of fun living down there. Maybe I should buy a spot now. Might be a little bit too early. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. Again, if you are thinking about coming down to Northwest Arkansas, download my 3-day itineraries, link below. Maybe you're an adventure, maybe you're a sports person, maybe you're a foodie, maybe you're sightseer, maybe you're kids, whatever it is, haha. All the 3-day itineraries are linked below, so go ahead and download them, easy when you get down here. Also, when you do come down here, I can give a $10 tour so I can kind of show you around the whole area. Plus, we can check out some homes for sale or for rent and see how far your dollar will go in Northwest Arkansas compared to where you're coming from. All right, guys, I'll see you next one.